Pennsylvania church got involved in the national debate over gun reform, and they did it in a pretty unique and bizarre way.
For us, what our pastor is teaching right now, we call the rod of iron, which is the teaching of self-defense. We as good, people, we strongly believe in the Second Amendment. People have the right to bear arms, and in God's kingdom, you have to protect that. You have to protect, against evil. So showing the rod of iron, which represents, for our church, is the AR-15. And it represents that you can protect against evil with that rod of iron, in a sense.
I don't need a freaking assault weapon to defend myself. Only thing they're good for is killing, period. That's all that weapon is good for, mass killing. And you want to bless it? Shame on you.
It's scaring people in the community. I mean, the school had to move to another location today.
Yeah.
So I want to know, are you aware of that effect? And how do you talk to people about that?
Here's the funny thing is that this has actually been made public that we're going to do something like this. So actually, well, here's the thing. Actually, it'd be a lot more scarier if we didn't put it out in public.
I'm of the side of the opinion that we do have the right to bear arms, and only for the purpose of protecting and defending our families, not to make war. It's a weapon of defense to keep the peace. Amen.
Look, man, I'm one of those people. I consider myself moderate on the issue of gun reform. This is something I've spoken about ad nauseum. You guys are probably sick and tired of hearing me give my position on this. I don't want to ban guns. I genuinely don't want to ban guns, nor do I think can we, given the Constitution, even though it says a well-regulated militia that they're talking about. But still, I wouldn't ban them. I don't think it's a good idea to ban them. I've spoken about how I want to have a universal background check with strict standards. 97% of the American people are with me. I want to ban high-capacity magazines. I want to treat guns like cars and have a test you have to go through in order to get it. So I want to do basic common-sense gun reform. But when you look at something like this, you realize that half the debate in the country is just they're off in la-la land, man. You are having a religious ceremony where you're blessing your gun. So you are almost quite literally worshiping your gun. Do you not see how unreasonable that is? Do you not see how this is the kind of shit that other people look at us in the world and they're like, you guys have lost your goddamn minds. Like, all these red states have passed bills like, I think you should be able to carry a gun in a bar. That's a good idea. It's not like people get drunk there and then they get jealous when their significant other talks to somebody else and that'll lead to more problems. There's bills, carry in a church like that, carry in a bar, carry in a government building, right, because there's not a long history in the U.S. of politicians on both sides of the aisle getting shot at and having assassination attempts. So there are positions that are reasonable, and then there are positions that are unreasonable. Now we're in the realm of completely and utterly unreasonable. You have to understand that this is outside of the realm of what's respectable. You have to get that. You have to understand that if we're going to have rules where regular people can't get a nuke, can't get a chemical weapon, can't get a biological weapon, can't get a tank, can't get an anti-tank missile, can't get a Gatling gun, we all agree to gun regulation of some kind. It's just how far do you go and where do you draw the line? Well, here you have people who say there are no rules and we're going to do a ceremony where we fucking worship our guns. And then this is goofy and this is silly. And yes, this is dangerous because there's a reason why 32,000 people die every year in the U.S. because of gun violence. Now, to be fair, that includes everything. Homicides, suicides, accidents. But there's still about 12,000 homicides with guns every year. There's a reason why that number's so high. Meanwhile, other modern nations, you have less than 100 gun deaths per year. It's because guns are such an integral part of our culture and society. And we do have almost gun anarchy in this country. And when you look at that, you go, okay, now you're mixing in the gun anarchy with a healthy dose of religious absurdity, and it's just a terrible mix. So can we please back away from this stuff? I don't understand how people in that church don't see why this alarms people. I don't want to come and take your gun. I want you to have your right to a gun, but I want you to pass a background check, pass a test like you're driving a car, don't have no high-capacity magazines. I want there to be reasonable rules, okay? You can have a gun while also not parading it around, in society when there's, like, kids walking around and shit going to the ice cream store. You can have your gun without doing a ceremony literally worshiping your gun at a church. So let's pump our brakes here, and let's come back to sanity because we've gone way too far with this.